is our fucking city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong. Thank you.
You are now listening to The Wicked Take, a podcast about everything Boston sports, the city of champions. From the Bruins to the Celtics to the Patriots to the Red Sox. Here are your hosts Jordan Moore and Ryan Sheehan.
What is going on, and welcome back to the Wicked Take podcast, your home for all things Boston sports. Your home of the 2018 World Series champion Boston Red Sox, the 2019 Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, 17-time champion Boston Celtics, and your 6-time Stanley Cup champion Boston Bruins. If you're counting, that's 36 championships combined for the City of Champions. Today is July 31st. My name is Jordan Moore, and this is the best all-around Titletown podcast that you will ever listen to, and that is simply a fact. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wicked Take for articles, podcasts, positive Boston sports news, giveaways, and more. Subscribe to our new YouTube channel by simply searching Wicked Take, and subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Everything you need to know about this podcast, including the rundown, topics, and at what time we talk about each topic and subject and segment and that kind of jazz, can be found on the description of this episode. It's just going to be me for tonight, so we'll have a lot of fun. We'll talk mostly about the Red Sox and add in some Patriots talk since they just started training camp. Not much going on with the Celtics and Bruins right now since it's the off season. But getting started, today is July 31st. The MLB trade deadline has come, and it has gone. It has left us. It's no longer here. The Red Sox needed to make some moves. Did they make any moves at all? They did not. It's maybe news for you. You might be listening thinking, wow, I didn't know that the Red Sox didn't make any moves in the trade deadline. If you didn't know that, you probably live under a rock. You must not go on social media. Don't really know how you found this podcast. But they, in fact, did not make any moves, and I don't really like that. A lot of Red Sox fans don't like that. Actually, I'm going to change my take. I think I do like that because I think there were players out there. The Red Sox obviously needed help with their bullpen. They obviously needed some pitching. Guys like Chris Sale, David Price haven't lived up to expectations. The bullpen hasn't lived up to expectations at all. Probably the worst bullpen in all of baseball right now. But the thing that I like about Dombrowski, and I know Dave Dombrowski, who basically makes all the moves for the Red Sox, has gotten a lot of criticism, a lot of negative feedback on Twitter and social media and that kind of stuff, and even analysts talking on TV, and everyone has basically quit on Dave Dombrowski, has said that he doesn't know this team like the back of his hand. He doesn't think that he can really win, or they can really win. But I think that everyone that's giving Dave Dombrowski criticism right now is kind of wrong. I think he's done a magnificent job with this team. You look at last year, Getting Steve Pearce around this time last year for just a minor leaguer and some cash from the Blue Jays, and the guy's a World Series MVP. Like, who would have thought that? We all would have never thought that this would have happened. And while he didn't sign sign Craig Kimbrell back to, bolster down the back end of that bullpen, he has tried. I feel like it's hard for him because you don't want to go over the salary cap. You don't want to pay all this extra money just because you're kind of buying your way to a championship. And the Red Sox have always spent money. I mean, that's a part of being a big market team. But they don't go out on the trade deadline and get basically buy their way to the championships. Like some teams in New York do. But I think Dombrowski on the other hand has. I think that he has a good control of this team because if you think about it, there really weren't a lot of guys on the market for him to go after. I know there's a lot of trade speculation. Is he going to give up Andrew Benintendi and some top prospects such as the Cassis guy that was our 2018 first round pick? Is he going to go and trade Bobby Dahlback or Duran that's tearing it up right now in the minor leagues? For some pitching help, maybe like Syndergaard or Edwin Diaz from the Mets, but it's like why do that? Why give up a guy like Andrew Benintendi, a guy like Jackie Bradley, who Jackie Bradley defensively, guy's only hitting 220, he's probably not going to hit over that, but he can have a breakout like he did in the postseason. He almost single-handedly won us that game in Houston. I mean that series in Houston when he was tearing it up during the ALCS. And then you have guys like Benintendi, who's an above-average outfielder, who is a career 280 hitter, and they're all under the age of, 25, 26? It's like, why give them up right now when they've proven themselves at the major league level just to get, some pitching help just maybe for this year? I don't really think. Maybe next year, okay, like you could say Syndergaard or Diaz would stay with us, but I don't think, Syndergaard's, he's a great pitcher, but Diaz is a good pitcher, but I just don't think that outweighs who you're going to give up. Like, I wouldn't do that. Diaz had a terrible night the other night against the White Sox, blew the save for the Mets. The Mets are kind of in the same situation that the Red Sox are in. Their bullpen is horrific, just like ours. But I don't know. I think Dave Dombrowski's getting a lot of criticism, and I don't really know if he deserves that. I think he's done a very good job with this team. I think that, I might be, not with the majority in thinking that, but regardless, Dombrowski said that the reality is if we're gonna make it, it's going to be guys that are in this clubhouse, and I like that statement. But the only thing that I kind of pointed out on my Twitter, if you follow me, the key word in that statement is if we're going to make it. And to me, it's kind of hard to play for a front office that is expressing what if emotions at the end of July. I don't really think it's a good look. I think the Red Sox kind of showed that tonight. They lost to the Rays 8-5. Came out really, really slow. I think the score was 8-2 at one point. But I think if you want a team to respond, I think there needs to be. The only reason I think that they should have made a move just for one person. Whether it's even a headline guy or not as popular of a guy, I think they should have just, it's all about creating spark and getting some motivation in that clubhouse, and I think that's really what they could have used. But Dombrowski thinks that, if they're gonna win with the guys in the clubhouse, and I like that. But I just think, they obviously could have had some help, but. All in all, I'm a big Dombrowski fan. I think you guys should be a Dombrowski fan too. Look, he's brought 108 regular season, 118, 19-1, whatever it was, season last year, and all, a World Series trophy to the Red Sox. He's won the East every single year he's been with the Red Sox. He's made the playoffs every single year he's been with the Red Sox. I had an article a week or two ago about what his impact and how we should stop bashing him. So if you want to check that out, that's on our social media as well. But I don't know. Were we all depressed that the Red Sox didn't make a move at the trade deadline, yeah, we were. But I think all in all, taking a couple hours to kind of debrief, I think it's better for the Red Sox. We still have a shot to make a wild card. We still have a shot of, we could win the division. I mean, we have 8 games left with the Yankees. I mean, who knows? Maybe they can fall. Maybe the Red Sox get hot. Not looking too likely right now, but I mean, you never know. Baseball's a crazy game. We still got 2 months left. So I don't know. I just think the whole Dave Dombrowski slander and that kind of stuff needs to take a halt. But another thing that I wanted to point out too is, I mean, Boston is the only city that, a 118-19, whatever it was, game-winning season last year, World Series victory just 9 months ago, can be outweighed by a somewhat underperforming 2019 Red Sox team, because they're not really underperforming. I mean, they're 10 games over 500. I think 9 games with the loss tonight. But this kind of season in 2019 has seemed to outweigh the 2018 season that the Red Sox had last year. And I don't think that's fair at all. I mean, and like you turn on the radio and the Boston media can be very pessimistic just because I guess we have high expectations, which isn't a bad thing. Like, we're the city of champions for a reason, but you can't sit here and bash the whole Red Sox organization. The Red Sox basically GM and Dave Dombrowski and stuff like that. I know he's not the GM; he's president of baseball operations or whatever you want to call it, but he controls the moves, and I just don't think that the media should bash him for a kind of mediocre season. I mean, you got to look. The Red Sox are 59-50. Okay, yeah, like, it's not the season we expected because they basically have the same roster, but it's still not a bad season. Some teams, I'll have one of my good friends, CJ Kilpatrick, on today. He's a big Baltimore sports fan. Went to college with him. Was roommates with him, and we'd watch sports games all the time, and he'd be, I'd be yelling at the TV for the Red Sox not winning a game, or really a meaningless game when we look back on it. And some sports fan bases, especially his sports, Baltimore fan base would kill for the sports seasons that we've had in Boston. And I mean, he's a big Orioles fan, so he'd even kill to even get close to 500. So it's kind of like, I don't know, we need to take a step back, and we kind of really need to think about what we're really arguing about, what we're really getting upset about. But yeah, I mean, I tweeted something about how this season is kind of being, is kind of outweighing last year's season. I just think that's ridiculous. A lot of Boston media can be pessimistic. So, keep up with this podcast, follow us on social media, and we'll keep it positive for you. But yeah, moving on. I mean, let's take a quick look at the Red Sox season, okay? They're currently sitting at 59-50. In the standings right now, we obviously have the Yankees above us. I mean, the problem with the Yankees is that the Yankees just don't lose. The 2019 Yankees are the 2018 Red Sox. I mean, I kind of get how Yankees fans were kind of pissed at us last year and, struggling themselves just because, they're having a good season too, just like the Red Sox are. I mean, the Red Sox are still having a good season. You can argue with me till the cows come home, but they're having a good season, in my opinion. Could they have at least 15 more wins if they had a better bullpen? Yeah, sure. That's easy to say, but we can all sit here and say that and analyze that. But this is how the Yankees felt last year, and, the Red Sox didn't lose last year. It didn't seem like they lost last year. And this year, they're struggling a little bit. The Yankees aren't struggling. They just don't seem to lose, except for, to the Red Sox in this last 4-game series that they had where they almost got swept. But it's like, I mean, they have 68 wins on the season. They're 7.5 up on the Rays, now 10 up on us. But like I said, I mean, the Red Sox still have 8 games left with the Yankees, so there's still no need to panic. They could still, make a run. That's how baseball is. Still 2 months left in the season, like I said. You never know what could happen. But I mean, looking at the wild card, like, I I mean, 2.5 back of the Rays and the Athletics for that second last wildcard spot, and then 5 back of the Indians for that top spot. Indians playing hot right now. A's playing hot right now. Rays struggle a little bit. They're beating up on us this series. But, I mean, the Red Sox get hot. You never know what could happen. That's only 2.5 games. There's 2 months left in the season, over 80 games. So, I don't know. And, I mean, I tweeted this a while back, got some slander for it. Don't really care. But, I mean, if you look at the divisions, yeah, I mean, I just think the American League is way stronger than the National League. That's easy. I mean, you put the Red Sox in a division such as the NL East, where you got the Braves, Nationals, Phillies at the top. They're sitting at second place right now, only about 3.5 back of the Braves for first place. That division, put them in the NL Central, probably the worst division in baseball. They're up by 3 games with the Cardinals, Cubs, Brewers. Put them in the West. Yeah, they're behind the Dodgers, but they're leading the wild card if you put them in the National League by a good 3.5 games. So we kind of need to look at this whole 2019 season and say that the circumstances suck. Yeah, I mean, we're not making excuses. We're still 2018 World Series champs, still defending World Series champs, and we'll say that till the end of October. I don't care what you say, but we need to appreciate this season. Yeah, it sucks, but maybe you just need to root a little harder. But I don't know. This season, I mean, it's not a bust. It's not a fold. We're not folding. Red Sox certainly aren't folding. I came up with an article the other day. They're not going to back down from a challenge. They never have, never will. So it's going to take a lot of fight for the Red Sox to get in this playoff spot. I think they will eventually get into that last playoff spot in the American League wild card, and then in that wild card game, who knows? It's a 1-game playoff. They'll probably have to travel, but the Red Sox are 32-22 away. So honestly, at this point, we'd rather play away than we would at Fenway right now, because we're only 27-28 at Fenway. Haven't played well at all at home, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, like I said, I mean, we got to take a step back, and we got to realize that the Red Sox really aren't having as bad of a season as the Boston media may put on them, as we as fans with high expectations may put on them. So I wanted to get into our first segment, Simply a Fact. Just sticking with the Red Sox. I think it is simply a fact that the Red Sox, like I said, will make a run at the 2019 postseason. I'm not saying that they're going to make a good run, because the Astros just got a big piece in Zach Greinke today. So that adds to their crazy starting rotation that they have. I mean, they already have a really good bullpen, and probably the same offense as the Red Sox. So I think they're the team to be in the American League right now. I think the Red Sox can easily beat the Yankees, can easily beat the Indians, Twins, this kind of team. So, I mean, just put us in the playoffs and we'll see. I think it's simply a fact that they have a run in them. I know they have a run in them. I guess that's why it's simply a fact. If you know me, you know that my simply a fact takes are, definitely not opinions. They're facts, like I'm saying. But yeah, I think it's also simply a fact that Dave Dombrowski has done a very, very good job, like I said, with this Red Sox team. I think we all kind of need to sit back and look at this Red Sox team and just say chill. Let's just say chill. Let's take a step back and let's look at what Dave Dombrowski has done. Let's look at the Red Sox have done over the last 4 seasons, winning the East in 3 straight seasons. So stop slandering Dave Dombrowski. That's simply a fact. But yeah, now moving on to something that, it's kind of carries on with our Simply a Fact segment. I want to go to our Twitter questions or responses we put on our Twitter that we were recording tonight to drop some ideas about what we should talk about. We got a response from Chris Adams. he said in the Sox position with no significant injuries where good players will be returning, you either buy or you sell. The only thing you don't do is nothing. I'm going to have to disagree with that. I like a lot of Chris's takes. He responds to the Wicked Take a lot and my personal account a lot, but I'm going to have to disagree. Like I said, I think Dombrowski did a good job of staying put just because I don't want to give up more of our farm system. I don't want to give up, more of what we already – we already don't have a very good farm system, so why give up guys like Duran, Cassis, and Dahlback from or even more guys? These are just guys that come off the top of my head. I don't think we give away those guys just for some mediocre pitching. Syndergaard and Diaz aren't mediocre pitchers, but Diaz, like I said, Diaz hasn't been that good the last couple of outings. So who knows what he could have done, what he would have done in Boston. We're kind of just going off of our gut right now, but. Could they have gone out and got Greinke or someone like that? Yeah, they could have. Someone that I kind of looked at that they should get is kind of a guy like Carl Edwards from the Cubs. They traded him to the Padres. I thought he was a very solid guy for the Cubs. Has had a lot of command issues, but that was a guy that came off the top of my head, and I was like, wow, I can't believe the Red Sox can go after him. But I think in this, time period right now that the Red Sox are in this 2019 season, I think that them staying put was actually the right thing. And yeah, it's me like reflecting back on it, a couple hours after the deadline and listening to a lot of takes and stuff like that. But I think personally that Dombrowski did a good job of just staying put. Let's see what this Red Sox team can do. Is it going to be the same? Was it the same tonight? Yeah, it was. The pitching didn't really do that well. Offense was still there. He scored 5 runs. I think he should maybe win that game, especially if Porcello is pitching. Porcello has had a really very, very mediocre year. Kind of disappointed him. Another guy, Mark H., responded with Dombrowski and if he should be fired immediately. Like I said, I really don't think that he should be fired immediately. Let's take a step back. Like I said, let's look at what he's done, not just this season, but the seasons before. Has never missed the postseason. Still yet has never missed the postseason. Has won the East for 3 straight years. Probably won't win it this year, but still has a good shot at making the playoffs. Only 2.5 back right now of that wild card spot, and it's July 31st. You still got 2 months left of the season, so definitely don't think that he should be fired. Zach Herbert responded to us, not selling the crap in the bullpen. If it's true, people called on any of them. And then he says Dumbo's lack of moves, the bad move of signing Eovaldi to $17 million per year, and then he said trade Mookie in the offseason. Zach, I don't really agree with any of that. I haven't agreed with, I don't know. I just don't trade Mookie in the offseason. Mookie's a free agent at the end of this season, so hopefully he signs back with Boston. He's a crucial part. You can't say that he's not a crucial part. Would maybe signing him and then trading him, would that increase our chances in the future? I don't really think so. You'd get some prospects back, but I don't think that's what the Red Sox want to do. You can't really rebuild in Boston at all. So I definitely don't think you don't sign Mookie. I hope he stays. I hope JD re-signs this offseason as well. I think those are both crucial parts to this Red Sox offense and this Red Sox success. So I really hope that they stay put and don't go anywhere. JD can't opt out at the end of this season. Going back to Eovaldi, paying him $17 million. I don't think that. I think that's kind of an overreaction, saying that that was a bad move right now just because the guy hasn't been healthy. Of course you can sit here and say that it was a bad move because the guy hasn't pitched, but the guy hasn't pitched. Come on, he's just coming back. He's gonna holster down the back end of the bullpen. He's only had 2 outings since coming back in the back end of that bullpen. Just relax, just chill, because I think that that Eovaldi, we know what he can do. If it works in the bullpen or not. If it doesn't work in the bullpen, he'll probably go back to being a starter, which he's more comfortable at. But he used to pitch out of the bullpen in the beginning of his career, so I think it'll work out fine. The Red Sox needs to get some confidence. When they get some confidence, they'll have Eovaldi in the back end closing it out. And I think that's a really good move for them. Everyone's excited. His first outing was kind of rough, kind of sketchy, but that's just the whole process of trying to come back from an injury. It's tough. It's tough, especially pitching to live batters and everything like that. Have already addressed Dombrowski, but a big thing, people said that Dombrowski had a press conference after the trade deadline hit, and he said that a lot of general managers were calling about his pieces in the bullpen, and I don't really know if that's true. I think that's kind of Dombrowski just playing with the media and playing with fans' emotions and stuff like that. Maybe they could have called about guys such as Brandon Workman or Matt Barnes, who have had really good seasons. Matt Barnes is not really living up to expectations, but Brandon Workman is probably our best bullpen guy. I can definitely see how guys could call about him. So I don't really think that was fake, but the Red Sox definitely don't need to trade their top bullpen arms. They need bullpen arms to help them out. But the Red Sox bullpen. If you ever watch them, they're really not bad. They do play inconsistently. I think that's really their problem, because there's some nights where they pitch well. It's some nights where they pitch, mediocre, and then there's some nights where they pitch god awful and they'll blow the lead. But they probably are, statistically one of the worst bullpens. But I think if you watch guys such as, we got a new guy, Josh Taylor, who's had a shutdown inning tonight. He's pitched well since being called up. You got Brandon Workman. Marcus Walden really hasn't showed that well. He hasn't really done that well. So, there's an exception for every team. There's an exception for the Red Sox, but I think some guys, like I stated, have really pitched well for them. So, we'll see. I think, I keep saying this every podcast. I'm still not panicking. Get mid-July, mid-August, may start panicking a little more, but we need to chill. I'm telling you, if you take anything from this podcast, just chill. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but we'll see. I say just chill. Don't panic yet. Do not panic yet. The Red Sox are only 2.5 back from a playoff spot. I think they can get it. I promise you. I have confidence in them, and you should too. All right, so real quick, let's talk about the Patriots. The Patriots have just opened up training camp, as most NFL teams have. I think it's easy to say that we're pretty excited for, the upcoming football season, just to see what the Pats can do, again. It's always interesting just seeing how great they can be. I'm sure the media will doubt them again. I'm sure, all the analysts and talk show hosts will doubt the Patriots again. So that's just part of the journey. That's part of the ride. But we'll see. Come September 8th, they open up against the Steelers on September 8th at 8:20 on NBC. One thing I want to talk about, I'm moving to Boston in the next couple weeks, and I really wanted to go to the Steelers game. When they raised the banner, the 6 banner to tie the Steelers. I really wanted to go to that game. Why is it that the Patriots tickets are so damn expensive? I get they're the Super Bowl 6-time Super Bowl champs. I get it's in Boston and stuff, but $630 for a seat, for one of the cheapest seats in Gillette Stadium? No way. There's no way. Why? How would I ever pay that? I'll take myself to a bar and drink a beer and watch it there. That's ridiculous. I really don't get that. But anyway, so a news line coming out of New England today is that Tom Brady says that he's bulked up to absorb hits a little better. Supposedly he's gained a couple pounds. Definitely good pounds. Tom Brady probably has never even ate McDonald's a day in his life, but definitely probably good pounds. I think it's good for him just to absorb hits a little bit, but Tom Brady shouldn't be getting hurt anyway. The offensive line should be like an airbag for him, like a safety precaution. He should never even touch the ground. But it's probably going to happen a couple times in the season, so it's good that he's bulked up and that kind of stuff. So good for him, I guess. But there's been a lot of slander I've seen a lot of slander on social media about the new rookie N'Keal Harry from Arizona State, who's I think is going to have a great rookie season. I think he's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. I feel like people really forget about him, and actually like guys like Braxton Berrios who didn't play last season because he was hurt. But I mean, we have a really good wide receiver core. We got a guy from the Redskins as well, wide receiver. I forget what his name is. Have to look that up. But I mean, we have a lot of talent. We still have a lot of talent in New England. I know it's not a a lot of people think that the Patriots kind of get like these guys and kind of make them, which definitely has happened. But there is talent there, and I think this year the Patriots have so much more talent than they had last year, which is definitely a bonus for them. And then also there's rumors that the Patriots could try to upgrade their line and adding Trent Williams from the Redskins. Trent Williams has not had the best of relationships with Redskins management right now. I think they handled his injury kind of badly, or he wasn't satisfied with how they handled his injury, so he's kind of low-key requesting a trade without requesting a trade, so they're kind of shopping him. And the Patriots are a team that are interested in him. Trent Williams would be a huge addition to this offensive line. So we'll see what happens there. I hope those rumors are true. But real quick before I get into a interview with one of my friends about the Red Sox and the Patriots upcoming season. But I just wanted to run down a quick regular season predictions for the Patriots and their schedule rundown. So the Patriots obviously open up with the Steelers at home on September 8th. That's a Thursday night game. I think the first game of the season. Maybe the second game, actually. I think the Bears and the Packers might play before them or something like that. Something weird. I don't really understand it. I thought the Super Bowl champions always opened up, but for the 100th anniversary this year, the NFL is doing something kind of weird. I don't really know. But anyway, they open up with the Steelers, raise their 6 banner, which ties the Steelers for the most. So that's kind of cool that they're raising the banner in front of them. I think emotion and adrenaline will definitely be running for the Patriots that game. I think they'll win that game. And then it's kind of interesting. They go to Miami. They go down to Miami September 15th for week 2. That's kind of they go to Miami early this year, so maybe it's different. They always usually go late in the season, but they go early this year. It seems like they always lose down in Miami, so that'll definitely be a test for them early in the season. Then September 22nd, week 3, they play the Jets. I don't know how good the Jets are going to be. New coach, new players. They got Le'Veon Bell, new additions and stuff like that. So we'll kind of have to play it by ear and see how the Jets are. But, I think they win that one. Then they go to Buffalo, September 29th for a day game. Don't see them losing that one. The Bills don't scare me at all. Then they go to Washington to play the Redskins. The Redskins are kind of interesting. I currently live in Richmond right now. Moving to Boston the next couple of weeks from Richmond. And the Redskins have their training camp in downtown Richmond. I went to go watch their training camp the other day. Redskins low-key kind of look good. Haskins looks pretty good. Case Keenum, I think, looks flawless. I think that they should definitely start him. So if you're a Redskins fan somehow listening to this, or a Redskins fan, I think the Redskins are going to surprise some people this year, so we'll see. Their offensive line is huge. You should see them in person. I'm sure a lot of teams are like that too, but just speaking from personal experience. But I think the Patriots handle the Redskins in Washington. I think they'll start off 5-0. Then they come back to New England, play the Giants. Don't think the Giants are a threat at all this year. I think that's a Monday night game or possibly a Thursday night game. October 10th. It's at 8:20 at night. So I think that's Thursday night game. I think they'll handle them. Start off 6-0. Then they play at New York at the Jets. In a Monday night game. The Patriots never really play well in Monday night games, it seems like to me. So I think they may struggle with the Jets. I think the Jets are going to be a lot better this year. So maybe they win that one, maybe they lose that one, kind of 50-50. Either way, we're looking at 7-1, 8-0. Then they play the Browns October 27th, which is a will definitely be a test for them because I think the Browns will be very good this year. That's a Sunday afternoon game. Then they play at the Ravens. That's definitely going to be a tough test. I think the Ravens are going to be the team to beat in the AFC North this year, November 3rd. Then they go to Philadelphia, which is a Super Bowl rematch in Philadelphia. That's going to be a really, really tough game for them. November 17th. I think that'll be the first. I think the Browns and the Ravens. So they got the Browns, Ravens, Eagles, Cowboys. I think, and then the Texans, then the Chiefs. So that's a tough stretch right there for them. So we'll definitely know who the real Patriots are by the end of November. After the Eagles, they come back home and play the Cowboys. I think they'll win that one. I think the toughest stretch for the Patriots is going to be that October 27th through November 17th, where you have the Browns, Ravens, and Eagles being away games. I think that's going to be very tough for them. Then they go to the Texans. That'll be tough. December 1st. Then they play the Chiefs at home. December 8th. That's a really hot ticket. Another ticket that's really expensive. I just don't see how a game could be that expensive. The NFL and their ticket prices are absolutely absurd. So I'll probably be watching that at a bar with a beer in hand. Stay tuned for that. Then they, end it with a very easy schedule. I think the Patriots will easily get another playoff bye. They end at the Bengals versus the Bills versus the Dolphins at home. So 2 home games to end it. I don't see the Patriots losing more than 4 games this year. That could come back to bite me. I don't know. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think this is, I think another year where the Patriots could easily dominate. They could struggle a little bit, but I think even when the Patriots struggle, they're going to make the playoffs. But, by the way, that wide receiver that I was talking about is Maurice Harris. He came over from the Washington Redskins. Very good signing for the Patriots, I think. I think he's going to be an under-the-radar guy that kind of pops off. So we'll see. Anyway, let's go into the interview with one of my friends who is a Baltimore sports fan, kind of D.C., Maryland area sports fan. We went to school together at Stevenson University. Really cool guy. He talks about kind of like the non-bias things about the Boston sports that you might see from an outsider's perspective. So here it is. All right, I'm now here with CJ Kilpatrick. He's an avid Baltimore sports fan, not Boston sports fan. He doesn't really like Boston, but he's had to put up with my Boston fandom for the last year. We roomed together at Stevenson University. What's up, CJ?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Good. So yeah, I mean, basically what I went over in the podcast was, the Red Sox are obviously struggling right now, but the trade deadline just ended. And what's kind of your thoughts with from a non-biased standpoint about the Red Sox staying put and not making any moves at all?
I think it's interesting. I mean, if you look at what you guys did last year, I mean, all you guys acquired last year, I mean, do you really include Kinsler? I mean, I don't think Kinsler really did anything for you, but your big acquisitions last year were Steve Pearson and Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah. So
and, those were pretty much no names before they even started playing for you guys.
Right.
So, you guys really didn't do anything last year. You just ended up picking up low caliber players that ended up becoming high caliber players while playing for you guys.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not wrong to assume that you guys have the right players in the clubhouse to get it done. But, I mean, you look at the plethora of relievers that were on the market this year, and for them not even to get one is kind of mind-boggling. But, I mean, hey, if Dombrowski thinks that you guys have the people in the locker room to win, then hats off to him, and now everyone in your locker room's got to step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something that I alluded to as well. It's like we look back at last year and like we're kind of like ragging and shitting on Dave Dombrowski this year, but like I said, I mean last year, like you look at it, we got Steve Pierce for a minor leaguer and some cash for the Blue Jays, and the guy ended up being our World Series MVP.
Yeah.
And like we got Eovaldi. I mean, look how good he's done. Then we signed him to a $17 million deal. Like, yeah, it hasn't worked out well this year because the guy's been hurt, but I mean, like he's still like we know he's still the Eovaldi. Like he still has the potential to be as dominant as he was in the postseason last year. So I don't know. I just in my opinion, I don't think I see a lot of slander by Dombrowski and the Red Sox for not making any moves, but in my opinion, like there wasn't really like this is probably the worst trade deadline I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's weird because like this is the final trade deadline. Like there's no August waiver wire like trades this year.
Yeah, that's
so like you think that like it would have been much more like wow. Like the only real trade that like wowed me was like the Astros. Like how much the Astros really went for it this year.
Yeah, and got Greinke.
Yeah, I mean they picked up Greinke, they picked up a ton of relievers, and they traded for Maldonado again.
Yeah, and that's something that I think that the Red Sox. I don't even know if they should have made that big of a move, like that many moves, but I just think that they kind of needed like a spark in that bullpen in that clubhouse just to like get a new face in there. Like, hey, like let's roll. Like we're here to win. But like instead, like we kind of just like stood like we stayed put, and now what? It's like we haven't really had that much success with this bullpen and this kind of pitching staff that we've had. So now what do we do? Like I guess we just gotta fight harder. But I don't know. It's kind of I mean, I get like why we stayed put because he thinks that we can win, but at the same time, it's like, damn, I kind of wish we would have got at least one guy because like now, I mean, like it's gonna be hard to compete with, even if we do get into the playoffs with Houston, like we're gonna have to go to Houston first couple games and beat them with that, dominant three-man starting rotation. So
yeah, and it's just also kind of weird because the Red Sox have been linked to a ton of different players or like relief pitchers the whole week.
Yeah, like rumors.
And then you don't even get one, and like one of your top prospects is a third baseman, and you have Devers there, and Devers is going to be, I think, the cornerstone of your franchise moving forward. So like, not that you want to trade him for nothing, but he's definitely someone that you could have used as a trade piece for someone.
And that's something like we don't really have a good bullpen. I mean, good farm system. We don't have a good bullpen either. But we don't have a very good farm system. I think it ranks like near the bottom end of the farm system rankings. But we do have our top prospect is probably Dahlbeck, who is in Double-A right now. He's tearing it up in Double-A, but it's like he plays third base, but we've seen Chavis come up and switch positions and stuff like that. That's why I didn't really want to trade him. I didn't really want to trade our prospects just because you never know what you can get. So, I mean, in that regard, like, I get why Dombrowski didn't do anything. But like you said, I mean, he probably could have traded him and got a dominant pitcher, maybe like an Edwin Diaz or a Syndergaard.
Yeah, that was the main trade that I saw like the whole week was packaging Syndergaard and Diaz for your top prospect and Benintendi.
Yeah, I mean, would you have done that trade?
I don't know. I mean, Syndergaard looked pretty good last night, or whatever night he pitched. He pitched like 7 or 8 scoreless, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think you guys really have that much in the outfield, and Benintendi's one of your better hitting outfielders.
Right. I mean, like
you're not going to get rid of Jackie Bradley because his defense is astronomically better than anyone out there.
Yeah, and then
like I don't know who else you would put in the outfield if you got rid of Benintendi.
Yeah, I mean, rumors were that we were going to put Brock Holt in the outfield, but I mean, I love Brock Holt, but I just don't think he's consistently would be better than Benintendi. But I mean,
I mean, like it's not Benintendi's a pretty good hitter, but like he's also good defensively.
Yeah,
like people don't realize how hard it is to like just up and switch a position in the middle of the year.
Right. especially
like
at
on the
Fenway with
fly.
a wall.
Yeah, like he would have to do it on the fly.
Right.
And I mean, like your right field and center field are going to be locked in.
Yeah.
So like it's always going to be, if you got rid of Benintendi, it's almost like now you got to like do a circus and left.
Yeah.
You're going to be rotating guys in and out. I mean, honestly, if you guys got rid of Benintendi, you could have played the what if game and started maybe trying to transition Chavis out there.
That's a good thing. That's what I think, like, with the prospects we have coming up, I think they're kind of going to, like, and one of our prospects, I think Cassis is our number one right now. I think he's, like, still in single A, but he's an outfielder. So, I mean, they would probably try to get him, ready as soon as possible, probably, like, the middle of next year. But, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not worth, like, giving up more of our farm system when we already have, like, we have a good rotation. Like, who knows what's going to happen in the offseason when we have a little more money. And that's another reason why the Red Sox stay put, too, is because, like, they don't want to go above that salary cap kind of deal. But, I don't know. I just, like, speaking more about Dombrowski, because, I mean, he's a hot topic right now. Like, I mean, what is your opinion on him?
I mean, I think he's done a pretty decent job with you guys since he came over in, what was it, like late 2015, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it and, like, I don't know, I think this kind of gets into, like, a whole other topic, which is just, like, Boston's kind of, like, right now, like, from the first Super Bowl that the Patriots won to now, is, like, you guys are just spoiled in winning. Like, I hate to say it, and it sounds, like, stupid, but, like, it's so true because, like, you look at it, the last 3 years, you guys have finished in first place in the AL East.
Yeah.
2016, 2017, 2019. And they were all 90-win seasons, with last year being your 108-win season. And winning the World Series. So, like, it's really not his fault that you guys aren't performing as well. Like, no one could have predicted that Chris Sale was going to struggle at the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? Like, that was huge. No one could have predicted that Eovaldi was going to get hurt. Like, there's definitely circumstances that have played into you guys not playing up to your potential this year. But, like, to blame it all on him is tough. And, like I said, I just think it comes back to, like, being kind of spoiled and winning. That, like, you guys expect the best out of your teams year in and year out, which is a good thing. And, like, it's definitely what every sports town should hope for. But, like, I don't know if you guys had, like, I don't know if you were a Baltimore sports fan like I am. Like, like, it was great when the Orioles won in 2012 when they won the division, and then they went to the wild card game in 2015 after, like, 20 years of not even making the playoffs. And, like we were so elated in those times, and, like, you guys are just constantly in the playoffs in any sport. So, like, it's like nothing. And, like, if you guys don't make the playoffs, like, the whole season was a failure.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about too. But I mean, just going back to the first part of that and saying that, like, talking about Dombrowski, like, he's never not won the AL East when he's been with Boston. He's always made the playoffs and always has won the AL East. So I don't know. I think the slander with him is kind of ridiculous, like I said. But yeah, I mean, like, that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Like, I brought up a funny story before you came on about how, like, I would always be yelling at the TV, and what, now looking back at it, was like a meaningless Red Sox game or meaningless Patriots game when they, I remember, like, yelling at the TV when they lost to the Dolphins, and you come in and you're like, dude, like, you're still, like, 13-3 or some shit like that. I don't know what you said, but like, I mean, we're kind of, like, spoiled, and you and I living together, you've always seen, like, my Boston sports fandom, like, kind of, come to the forefront, and, like, me being biased when the Red Sox or Patriots or any Boston team, like, hasn't won a game, and it's kind of been like we're, like you said, like, we're spoiled. Like, one game to us can mean, like, so many bad things. Like, we think all these, pessimistic things, and you turn on, like, other Boston media, radio and stuff like that, and you see they're being so pessimistic and stuff like that. But like, I mean, just you being a Baltimore and, like, Maryland, DC sports fan, I feel like we're really spoiled in how we look at sports.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of funny too, because, like, I know, like, like I expect it every year, and like to a point, I think Patriots fans expect it every year. But I feel like the Patriots always come out slow, every year.
Mm-hmm.
And like every year, everyone overreacts, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is the end of the Patriots. Like the Patriots are going down. Like Tom Brady's lost a step," and then they rebound and they go on a roll to end the season. But at the beginning of the season, everyone's still panicking, and everyone's shit talking and going back and forth. But like, it's just because you guys expect them. Even if you don't expect them to come out of the gate slow, you expect them to come out and like you just have a high expectation of your team to win every single game, and like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's happened once, and then like that was you guys, and you ended up losing in the Super Bowl. But like still,
yeah,
like
and like we don't really even think about that anymore.
Right, and it's just like you guys set such high expectations that are like almost unrealistic and impossible to attain, but like that's what you do. Like you always want to be better than the year before. So like last year you guys won the World Series and won 108 games. So coming into the season, you guys didn't really lose much over the off season.
So we should have won 109 games.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I think that's what Red Sox fans were expecting, was for them to repeat as coming in first in the AL East, and to repeat winning the most games, or having the most wins in the majors, and having 110 wins, or you know what I mean, getting triple digit wins.
Yeah.
But in reality, like all you need to do is make playoffs, and then from there, like anything can happen. It's why they play the game.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of alluding to too. Like it's a 1-game playoff. You know, anybody can win that game. Shit, you put the Bad News Bears out there, like anything can happen. But like, exactly. I mean, after that, like the Red Sox are playoff tested. So like, I mean, there's nothing saying that if they get into that, you know, ALDS against the Astros or even the Yankees, like, I mean, I feel like they can easily win. So I don't know. I feel like my whole thing is like just chill. Like, you know, it's still the end of July, beginning of August. Like towards the end of August, like then we can start panicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you guys aren't in a great spot, but you guys definitely aren't in a bad spot. Like you're still 9 games above 500, 10 games above 500.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And like 5? How many games are you out of the wild card?
2.5 out of the wild card, and then 9 games or 10 games back of East.
Yeah, so I think what a lot of people too from Boston and New England do is they equate themselves to the Yankees because there's such that rivalry, and they go back and forth all the time on Twitter. But like you don't need to like keep pace with them.
Right.
Like, all you need to do is make the playoffs, and then like because who knows, you can make the playoffs, win your wild card game, and then still draw the Yankees in the ALDS, and then kick their ass.
Right.
And the whole regular season doesn't mean shit. It doesn't matter if you came in second and were the first wild card team, or whether you won the division. You still beat the Yankees at the end of the year.
Right. And that's all that anyone will ever remember. So I don't know. I just don't think I don't think we should panic. Well, moving on to the Patriots, we'll end with the Patriots. Like you said, like the Patriots always start off slow. The second week they go down to Miami. So they usually play down to Miami at the end of the year. But yeah, I think we can all say that's it for sure, Al.
Yeah, I mean, even last year, like you were watching that last play and you're like, all right, like we could still lose this game, but we're not gonna lose this game. Like we're finally gonna get the win in Miami, and then the fucking Miami miracle happened.
I know.
Fucking Kenyon Drake scoring a touchdown. You're like, well, I expected it, but I didn't expect it to happen that way. And
you know the worst thing about that is, that I had Kenyon Drake on my fantasy team and I didn't start him. So that's that added salt to the wound. But yeah. I mean, that was when, you know, props to the Dolphins though. They won the Super Bowl in week 13 or whatever it was, week 14. So congrats to their Super Bowl win. But yeah, I mean, what's like overall, I kind of like before you came on, I kind of ran down like my predictions for everything, and the Patriots and just running down their schedule one more time for you. Like they have the Steelers, Dolphins, Jets, Bills, Redskins, Giants, Jets, Browns, Ravens, Eagles, Cowboys, Texans, Chiefs, Bengals, and then end with the Bills and Dolphins again. What's kind of like what's your prediction for the Patriots side of things?
I mean, I expect nothing less than for them to win their division again. I mean, you still like every year you kind of think like, okay, like, you know, maybe the Bills or the Jets or the Dolphins will improve in some way, but I feel like they never like actually improve.
Right.
The Patriots always have a championship caliber level of practice, level of preparation. Yeah, they have championship caliber in everything they do. So I expect nothing less than for them to win the division and win it pretty handily. I feel like they always do. I feel like the tougher games on your schedule, I mean, the Giants aren't going to be good. I think the Jets could be sneaky this year.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said too.
Again, it's the Jets. You know,
Yeah.
until they can actually prove something to me, I'm gonna go with they're just gonna flop.
Yeah.
I don't think the Steelers are gonna be that good this year.
Yeah.
I think again it's gonna be the Ravens and the Browns for the AFC East division or AFC North.
Yeah, so what I kind of said at first was that the toughest games are really just like the Chiefs, Ravens, and then I said two sneaky teams that could be, tough for the Patriots would be the Browns, and the Eagles, just because, you got to go to Philly, and I don't really know. I mean, that's a Super Bowl rematch, so
the Texans could be sneaky too.
Yeah, I said that, but I feel like the Patriots always kind of handle the Texans.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, I mean, I said 13-3, and then like the lowest would be like maybe like a 11-5 kind of deal like last year. But
that's what I would say the same. I would say you're probably. I mean, I feel like you always chalk up one L every season to the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a given.
But after that, I feel like you guys are probably going to finish somewhere around 13-3, and at the lowest, I would say 11-5.
Yeah, you'll be glad to know that when I was running down the schedule and who they lose to, I said that they would lose to Baltimore. So you're welcome for that.
Yeah, well, we'll see how Lamar Jackson progresses with passing.
Yeah, that'll be a treat. But I'm definitely coming back to your place to watch that game, and hopefully we can go to the game.
Yeah.
But there'll definitely be beer on hand, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But all right, thanks for coming on for the interview, and I'll beat you in the show later.
All right.
All right. Once again, thanks to CJ Kilpatrick for coming on and giving us his non-biased insight on New England sports. But yeah, I mean that'll probably wrap it up. If you take anything from this podcast, just know that it's not time to panic yet about the Red Sox. Just chill, like I said, just chill. And then if you take anything else from this podcast, just know that football season is coming up very soon. So regardless if the Red Sox are underperforming more coming up, you still have the Patriots season to look forward to. Don't forget to subscribe. Please rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you're listening. Please subscribe to us. It really means a lot to us. And then, like I said, follow us on social media at Wicked Take. Those are our usernames for Instagram and Twitter. We're posting positive Boston sports news, as positive as we can be, because we know the Boston media is kind of saturated with pessimism and stuff like that. So follow us if you don't want to lose your mind listening to pessimistic journalists and media figures and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, appreciate you guys listening to I think this is our 11th or 12th episode. Hopefully, soon we'll have Ryan back on. And we appreciate. I just want to give a shout out to Jordan Haddock. He's done a really good job helping me with social media and getting the YouTube channel. Also subscribe to us on our new YouTube channel. We'll post hype videos, and our podcast will be available there too as well. So subscribe to us there. And then just continue to share our stuff. I think we just got 4,000 followers on Twitter, and over 1,100 followers on Instagram, and we've just been doing this for since January. we definitely just really appreciate the support from you guys and appreciate you guys sharing and everything like that. So again, thanks for listening. Follow my personal account at @JordanMoore. I'll follow you guys back. But yeah, once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.